The Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back. You're listening to Jared's Monday Night Raw. And real quick, because I did get an update on Kev Baker. So, yeah, he did have a heart attack, and he is recuperating. So I'm going to drop in the chat room here and then also give it out for those listening at home. His PayPal address, if you want to support him or help him out. He doesn't get paid, I don't think, when he's not working. So it's take, T-A-K-E, mine, M-I-N-E, kid, K-I-D, at hotmail.co.uk. That's his PayPal email address. That's takemindkid at hotmail.co.uk. And then for he's got a GoFundMe set up as well. And I shortened that URL, so I'll drop that into. And for those of you listening, it is, paste it so I can see it again. It's bit.ly, so bit.ly, then /Kev, K-E-V, and then BBB. So if you go there, you can help him out, and let's say a little prayer, a little hope for Kev to get better very quickly. And we'll go back to the phones. And I just wanted to, what I was going to say right before we went is that as far as the whole idea of space and everything, it should kind of set off some alarms. The fact that you were taught something at second grade, you were taught it as absolute concrete fact, unquestionable, been determined through the scientific method, which is repeating experiments, and observations, observable, repeatable, falsifiable. So we were taught that. It was forced down our throats in every commercial, in every video, in every movie beginning, in every logo, every kid's meal is a space creature or something. And then you look at the idea of the flat earth, and it was taught to you as dumb, desert wandering, water falls off the edge, it's impossible, only stupid people believe it. And then when you get to this point where you're starting to question it and people have brought it up and you start looking into it, if you look into it and you say to yourself, flat earth has some merit. Flat earth does have some interesting points. That alone should be a slap across your face. Hold on a second. Why does something that have interesting points, something that kind of has some merit, why would it be smashed on and told to you as an idiotic belief? And then the one that you look for evidence now, and it's obviously hard to find this evidence. And why would that be taught to you as fact? Those things are hugely telling to me. So go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for answering my question. And thank you for letting us know about Ken Baker. At least he's okay. And I just want to say, man, I just want to say, I pray for you all the time. I hope you don't mind. And like I'm saying, you're doing a really good thing, and it takes balls. It really does. So thank you very much.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for calling. And all I can promise you is you're going to get my true feelings every week. That's all I can do. And I'm going to, when I research, I look at different avenues. I certainly am not somebody who just goes to the one source, and I try and even debunk myself. And that's one of the things that has taken me an extra 2 or 3 weeks that I wanted to get out was this whole video I'm doing on the Titanic, and it's because some things came up after the fact that were so kind of influential into the whole story that it kind of needed a whole rewrite. because the way that I was going with the story kind of got interrupted, and so it's taking me a little time. But that's the kind of thing that I do. I'm not going to put out a video until I'm comfortable with it and I feel good about it. And that's what I ultimately do, is put out videos that is just a airing of my research, and this way, others can look at it, and if they find something that doesn't fit something they've researched, then, please bring it up. Let's go back to the phones. I believe we're going to, I don't know if this is Canada or California. You're on with Jared Monday Night Raw. Who's this? Where are you from?
This is Brent, calling from Riverside.
What's up?
Yep, San Bernardino. Yeah, I called you before about the flat Earth, and my theory is I've been promoting it for about a year, and I'm trying to promote it for about a year and a half. The Earth is a time toroid, and what that is the positive and negative ends of the Earth have an effect on time itself, and the speed of light and everything. So when you look at the Ferguson map, the little funny looking one, that's a true measurement that he got, that it's only based on his perception of time based. But if you flatten it out, it looks like it's a flat Earth. But the thing is the frozen ends of the Earth. Since water expands when it freezes, the colder ends of the Earth are larger, and because of the way that the water moves in the ocean, it doesn't just splash around like you have a glass of water. You're talking about a whole ocean, and the cold water moves forward than the colder water, the warmer water. So what you have is you have a natural dip in the middle of the ocean. You know what I mean? Because of
the density.
The density of the water, the weight of the atmosphere on the water, and the density of the water. Okay? So if you look at it all, if you look at it all in scope and consider the size of the whole area involved, the shape of the ocean looks kind of like a dip shape from the frozen end to the other frozen end. See what I'm saying? Because the frozen water takes up more space than,
I totally get it.
Kind of different.
Another interesting proof of this would be, I don't know if you knew this, but so in the Ferguson model, you would be describing Antarctica being up high on the outskirts, then it kind of drops down where the equator is, then it comes back up high at the North Pole, drops down again at the equator, goes back up high, right? Well, get this, the stratosphere, which is, where the border between the troposphere and the stratosphere, which they call the tropopause, which marks where the temperature inversion begins. At the equator, the stratosphere starts at 59,000 feet. At mid-latitudes, it starts at 33,000 feet, and at the poles, it's at 160,000 feet, which is crazy because that describes the exact Ferguson map, meaning where it is highest, which is the poles, that's where the stratosphere is the highest.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah. And the other thing is since I had a stroke, I had a stroke on 9/11. I was sitting in the hospital watching the planes crash.
Oh, no.
I always did it in my head, you know. I just had to write it out for other people to see what I was doing. But anyway, I had a theory that the speed of light is related to either the diameter of the Earth's circumference. Well, you know, I think if you take the speed of light and you figure it in those numbers, you'll come out with something like pi or something like that.
Okay.
But I can't do the math. And my name is Brent, and my Google address is SHEARD sheep. And yeah, if you get any where my video is Earth is a time toroid, if you get any results on that speed of light thing and the diameter of the Earth, drop me a message, will you?
Yeah, we'll do it, because that's...
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate the call. And I just wanted to clean up what I said earlier, because I was getting ahead of myself. So when I'm talking about the Ferguson map, which is, again, higher at the poles, and then it dips down to the lowest point at the equator, and then goes back up to the high point at the pole, the North Pole, then goes back down if you're kind of looking at it from a side view. And the way the troposphere and tropopause is at 26,000 feet is at the poles. So that's the lowest, but the poles would be the highest, right? That's where it's up the highest, and then the troposphere is at 26,000 feet. And then at the mid-latitudes, it's at 33,000 feet, which you're also starting to drop towards the equator, but now the sky is at 33,000 feet. And then if you go all the way to the equator, it's at 59,000 feet. And then it comes back up and goes up at the North Pole again, which would be back to 26,000 feet, down to 33 again as you start to go towards the equator, down to the equator at 59,000. So what you've got there is kind of what I've always felt, is that the sky is flat. It's not a dome. A lot of people might take that and say, oh, that's a dome description, but I think what it's describing is an undulation of land and a flat sky. It's just you're closer to that sky at the poles, which means you're 29,000 feet from that. At the mid-latitudes, which is about where I live, you know, the United States would be 33,000 feet to the sky, and at the equator it would be 59,000 feet. So very interesting that it matches exactly with that Ferguson map. Let's go back to the phones. They're lining up still. We are going to Bend, Oregon, I believe. You're on with